Alright, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer at different heights. Arrange them from tallest to shortest if only one of the following are true. Emerson is the tallest. Lake is not the tallest. Palmer is not the shortest. Alright, so if only one of these is true, then Emerson, so if Emerson is the tallest, then Lake is not the tallest, and oh, sorry, wait, only one of these can be true. So if Emerson is the tallest, then Lake cannot be the tallest, but that would be true, so that's not going to work. Alright, so this one's not going to work. So that's one. Number two would be if Lake is not the tallest. Is the only true one. So that must mean that Emerson is not the tallest and Palmer is the shortest. But if Lake and Emerson can't be the tallest, then Palmer must be the tallest, but he can't be that because he must be the shortest. So that doesn't make any sense either. Alright, so let's just double check this one. If Emerson is the tallest, then Lake must also be the tallest. So yes, okay, that's wrong. So 3, the only one that can be true is that Palmer is not the shortest. Therefore, Emerson cannot be the tallest, and Lake must be the tallest. Lake, Palmer, Emerson. I'm not sure if there's a notational way to go through this easier. Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to look at the answers. Use all of the following statements. Express your answer without grouping symbols. So P and Q. Not P. Q implies A or... Oh, that's or. P or Q. Q implies A or not B. Oh. Not A and E. Good question. Event 5, Geometry Logic, sample 2017, but it says October 31st, 2020. Unless you were looking at the team event. I went to Geometry Logic. Yeah, so I mean I hit it says 2017, but the link that I clicked was for October 31st, 2020. So that's fun. Oh, I see. Oh, there's different. Gotcha. Woof. Okay. Wow. Goes all the way back to 1993. It's crazy. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 17. Alright, so I was just looking at the first page. Whew. Okay, so I'm seeing not P, and since P or Q, that must mean that Q. And since Q, then Q implies A or not B. Not A and E is going to imply that not A has to be here, so that says that this can't happen, which means that we have to have not B, but B is necessary for not C and D. So does that just negate this? I think my hangup is necessary condition. If B is the only way we get not C and D, then not B is going to imply we can't get not C and D, therefore we must get the opposite of not C and D. So not C and D. So yeah, this is going to be C or not D. C or not D. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking at this and saying, okay, P is not possible, so therefore Q must be. It's a little daunting just looking at it, but like for a second there I was like, well, you can't know if it's like, because we would need to know if something's true or if something's false, but you don't need that because it literally says right there, we have not P. So therefore, if you have P or Q, you have not P, so therefore it must be Q. Okay. Good times. (2018) C. See, the problem is the technical terms. Not A implies not E. Not D. Only if not C. Disjunction of C and F. not B. Sufficient for E. Not D. Necessary for A. Oh man. Yeah, good times. Yeah. So we have a disjunction of C and F. So we can also kind of work our way backwards from this one and say like anyway, could also potentially work our way backwards and say like not E can only be implied from not A. A has to come from not D. D has to come from not C. And therefore, yeah, okay. Disjunction C or F here. Okay, so if we go, this must be C or F. All right, if it's F, then nothing else matters, because that's just going to be what it is. If it is, or if it is F, then it could potentially be not C. Is it, wait, hang on. Is it exclusive or I don't think it matters, but anyway, so yeah, if F, then potentially not C. Which not C implies not D. Not D is a necessary condition for A, but it's not sufficient. Ah. Contrapositive. E also implies A. Not B is sufficient for E, and there's no other B anywhere else. Yeah. Which is sort of what I wrote here, but yeah, it's always... So that also implies that D implies C. Oh, unless that's not contrapositive. Based on the discussion we had about only if last time. Okay. So what I'm getting here is essentially we've got C or if it is F, then again it potentially can be not C, which implies not D, which implies that it could be A provided that E is also there. So yeah, sufficient, you're right. Implies E. So not E implies B. Don't necessarily need it, but you know. So not D plus something is going to imply A. So not D is something that you need in order to imply A. However, it's not necessarily the only thing that you need. So we have up here E implies A. So that's and, really, not plus. And. So I think, I mean, E implies A just by itself. Ugh. I think so. Yeah. That could work too. Yeah. Though we did already establish that we're probably going to get not D on this side. So if we had D implies C, and we had C, then does that necessarily imply D? Well, not necessarily true. Okay. C does not imply D necessarily. Right. Okay. We're good. We're good. Alright, so not C implies not D. implies that we probably have A, provided that we have some other thing there, which again, we would have to potentially have E in order to make that work. So C or E. The other question is, what would the answer be? Right, October 2018. Yeah. I mean, I see the answer, but that doesn't mean I get it. No, it's not C or E. Huh. Okay. Not what I want. So I was thinking, like, right, if F is true, that so basically, like, F implies not C is what we're assuming in this particular case. So that's the only reason that I excluded it. But yeah. Yeah, C could also be true. So that was just a potential. Does this work both ways? Does having A imply that we must have had, not D? Or does it only work that way? That's also another question. In theory, it could mean that well, no, not D and something else can imply A. Then we don't know what that other thing is. I guess that doesn't help us anyway, but regardless. So if A implies not D, right, because we can do contrapositive for that. All right. Right, and not B implies E, which means that not B implies not D. All right, how does that simplify C then? Or like replace C? Alright, so not C implies not D. We got that. We had it over here. I mean, like, using these last two, you could argue that this is going to then be, we could replace C with D, and then also replace D with B. But I don't like it. Okay. If not A, then not E. And then if not E, then B. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. I think I do need to sign off here. Ooh. So B or F is the answer that's given. I would argue that D or F is technically true based on something else that we found over here, but I don't know that if that's necessarily what. I mean, there could be some sort of case where it doesn't quite work, but I don't know. It looked right from what we did. Maybe that's too far in depth. Yeah. But I guess if they said in terms of and gave you a letter, then that might be too clear cut. Alrighty, well, I gotta go do battle with hornets now that the sun is down. um, Not my favorite thing to do, but alright, I'm going to send over to Boss Lady B, who is doing Elite Dangerous in apparently her flower crown. Um, so, Matthew, thank you for coming, and anybody else who's there for video on demand. Again, thank you for watching. I'm going to be coming back on Wednesday for another math stream, and ew, that's gross. And I'm probably gonna, I don't know, take tomorrow and just play games, have fun with somebody else. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get frustrated and just start playing a game and start streaming it, because why not? Um, so anyway, I will see you all later. Thank you so much for coming.